Diverse accommodations around Greater London, southeastern England, eastern England and Cornwall. Welcome to our tour. I'm Charlie, 8 and wise, while Lucy, 6, is the ecstatic apple of my eye. We are elate and exhilarated to demonstrate our quest, as Windsor's winter wind begins to put us to the test. At 58 Wolf Lane, our home is quite a prize, a detached dwelling under snowy late November skies. We maintain a festive spirit, and we retain our joyous cheer, for the holiday season is currently and finally drawing near. Albeit cold, we don our coats and venture to the street, where autumnal leaves and fresh-laid snow and Christmas garlands meet. No juvenile or infantile behavior shall be found, as we observe the frosted garden and the frozen ground. A detached house like ours is distinguished and grand. It doesn't share a wall with any others on the land. To alienate the neighbors is a thing we'd never do, though we have sufficient space for Angela, our tuxedo cat too. We overlook the garden, where the bare oak trees reside, and we intentionally keep our precious memories inside. To exacerbate the chill would be a dreadful, dire mistake, so we check the porch for ice and for the snowy path we make. Angela explores the shrubs. She's energetic and so bold, undeterred by winter's breath and by the biting, bitter cold. We would not change a thing, not in the slightest, you can bet, for our detached sanctuary is the best one we have met. Inside our home, the layout is meticulous and bright, where festive trees and tinsel reflect the winter light. The playroom is a treasure. It's a piece of the action here, where Lucy's princess castle and my pirate ships appear. As opposed to a small flat, we have beds for 3 or 4, with cinnamon and cloves ascent behind the kitchen door. We would not vandalize or wreck this exemplary space, where every toy and book has its own official, proper place. If a plan should backfire, or if things go pear-shaped too, we simply start from scratch and find a better thing to do. We're on the brink of adventure, on the verge of something new, as the fire's warmth and golden light continue to imbue. Before we hit the sack, and before we call it a day, we review our itinerary in a very considerate way. Unfortunately, the variable weather is inconsistent and quite erratic, but we're enthusiastic guides. By no means are we static. We sip on hot cocoa, which is a sight for sore eyes, as the moon begins to wane and the winter stars arise. We must not be caught red-handed wasting time or slack, so we pack our bags with snacks and put our gear into a stack. We wouldn't swap our home for any inferior or substandard place, for our detached house in Windsor has such horizontal grace.
No?
The circumstance is perfect, with no need to protest or scold, as we prepare for the morning and the stories to be told. To make matters worse, the wind began to howl and to moan, but we embraced the cold, for we're well accustomed to the zone. To no avail did the frost try to deter our grand design, as we set off for Chiswick, where the terraced houses line. At 25 Wilmington Avenue, the bricks are warm and red, a house that shares its walls, where many families lay their head. It's akin to a long chain, each home a solid link, with chimneys rising high where the winter spirits wink. We would not omit a detail or avoid a single street, as we find the terraced gardens where the neighbors often meet. No need to bicker or dispute, for honesty is best, as we put our navigation skills to the ultimate, final test. A terraced house is historic, a replica of style, where the architecture stretches for a long and festive mile. At number 25, the period features are a prize, beneath the gray and heavy snow-filled London skies. To vacate such a lovely place would be an awful shame, for it's notorious for charm and for its very famous name. Lucy is loquacious as she points out every door, each one a different color, from the ceiling to the floor. We must not sabotage the tour or let the timing slide, so we park the car and venture with our energetic stride. There's a cacophony of birds in the ivy on the wall, as the winter shadows start to stretch and start to grow and fall. We enter the hallway, where the cornices are grand, the finest craftsmanship in all of the London land. The sash windows are rattling, but we do not object to the sound, for tradition and history are currently and surely found. 4 beds and 2 baths are tucked within this narrow space, where everything is curated with such sophisticated grace. Charlie is reticent to leave the warmth of the fire's glow, but the tour must proceed, whether one likes it or not, you know. We would not belittle or discourage the hard work we see in this thriving and diverse and urban community. The kitchen is modern, a complement to the old, where stories of the former years are frequently retold. The garden is a sanctuary, 70 feet of frozen grass, where we watch the winter birds and the snowy clouds pass. Angela is eagle-eyed as she stalks a falling leaf. Her time in the outdoors is wonderfully and purely brief. We would not vandalize or tarnish this peaceful, pretty sight, even as the garden fades into the coming winter night. To confiscate the joy of the snow would be a crime, as we enjoy the peace of this festive and holiday time. Lucy finds a holly bush with berries red and bright, a blessing in disguise on this cold and windy night. The terrace is efficient, it's a piece of cake to maintain, protecting all the families from the wind and from the rain. To Luton we travel, where the air is crisp and clear, as the semi-detached houses of Briar Close appear. At number 29, the houses come in pairs, sharing just one wall and their architectural cares. It's the antithesis of lonely, for a neighbor is quite nigh, under the vast and the heavy gray eastern England sky. One side is open, while the other is firmly bound on this quiet and suburban festive piece of ground. Charlie notes the symmetry. It's a sight for sore eyes, as the morning sun begins to eventually and slowly rise. We must not let the plan derail or fall into a rift, as we prepare to give the residents a holiday and snowy gift. Lucy was a bit distraught because her glove was lost in snow, but we found it by the driveway in the morning's golden glow. It's better late than never to rectify a wrong, as we sing a happy, festive, and a holiday-themed song. This semi-detached gem has an extension at the rear, creating more space for the family and holiday cheer. We wouldn't swap this balance for anything else we've seen. It's a wonderful home that is tidy and sparkly and clean. The bricks are sturdy, and the roof is remarkably steep, while the neighborhood is lost in a long and a wintry sleep. There's no lack of spirit here, no negligence or disdain, just the rhythmic and the steady sound of the soft and frozen rain. Inside, the kitchen is a masterpiece of modern design, where the marble and the chrome and the festive lights entwine. Lucy is curious, she's anything but shy, as she looks at the cupcakes and the mince and the apple pie. Angela pads across the floor, which is heated and so warm, a perfect refuge from the winter and the coming snowy storm. We would not sabotage the peace or instigate a brawl, as we admire the decorations in the kitchen and the hall. This house is versatile, it's second to none indeed, providing for every possible and every modern need. Stuff and nonsense to those who say that space is hard to find, for this semi-detached home is spacious and unique and refined. We feel crestfallen to leave, but we must not postpone, for the towers of Bromley are calling us to their zone. At Breward Court, the flats are stacked into the sky, where flat 75 is currently and remarkably high. We enter the lobby, which is polished and elite, a haven from the slush and the cold and the snowy street. The concierge is pleasant. He doesn't withhold a smile, as we rest in the lobby for a little and a festive while. We step into the lift, we're all in the same boat, as we shed our heavy scarves and our thickened winter coat. The ascent is steady. It's an automatic and smooth ride, as we leave the busy world and the city streets outside. To be in jeopardy of falling is a rudimentary fear, but the 15th floor makes the clouds feel very near. These flats are a phenomenon, a miracle of height, bathed in the moon's pale and the silvery winter light. Charlie explains that tetraphobia is not a problem here, as we reach our floor and our destination starts to appear. The hallway is long, it's devoid of any gloom, leading us towards the flat and the spacious living room. We must not deteriorate or let our energy wane as we look out at the city through the glass in the window pane. Angela is wary, but she's curious to see the world from a height that is as tall as a giant tree. The view is out of this world. It's a sight for sore eyes, as the festive city of London beneath the flat now lies. We see the Shard and the Gherkin. They're easy to identify under the dark and the burgeoning snowy winter sky. The flat is a fortress of glass and of sturdy, polished steel, with a contemporary and a very sophisticated feel. No tedium here, no monotony or dismal sight, just the twinkling of the thousands of the city's festive light. Lucy is vocal about the beauty she perceives, while the wind outside whispers through the skeletal trees. This flat is indispensable for those who love the height, a sanctuary of warmth on this cold and December night. We disengage from the heights, and we head back to the ground, for in Staines, a lovely bungalow is waiting to be found. At 11 Mayfield Gardens, the home is wide and low, a replica of comfort in the fresh and the fallen snow. We're thwarted by stairs no longer, for the floor is flat and plain, protected from the wind and the freezing winter rain. It's a distinguished dwelling with 4 beds on one level, where in the horizontal space we can finally and truly revel. Charlie admires the eaves and the long and sturdy roof of the bungalow's efficiency. We have the living proof. Angela leaps in the leaves that are red and gold and brown, the finest garden in the whole of the sleepy, snowy town. We reminisce about the stairs as we walk across the hall, admiring the festive photos that are hanging on the wall. The study is a haven. It's a piece of the action, too, where I write my daily journals, and I think of things to do. There's no negligence here, no disruption or lack of care, for the holiday spirit is currently and surely everywhere. The utility room is hidden. It's intentionally out of sight, keeping the bungalow tidy and remarkably bright. We find a warm nook where we can sit and have a rest. Of all the quiet houses, this one might be the best. The scent of pine is strong. It's an omen of good things, as the neighborhood choir a festive carol softly sings. We're reluctant to leave, but the river starts to call, so we head to Wandsworth Pier before the winter shadows fall. The houseboats are oxymorons. They're houses that can float, a moving base that is also a very sturdy metal boat. At St. Mary's Pier, the water is dark and cold and deep, while the residents of Battersea are falling into sleep. Lucy is exuberant as she steps upon the deck, with a festive woolen scarf wrapped around her neck. The houseboat is high-tech. It's a marvel of modern design, where the nautical and festive and the holiday lights entwine. We feel the rhythmic sway of the river's gentle flow as the city lights of London begin to shimmer and to glow. No one would sabotage this peaceful, aquatic scene where the water is like silver and the lights are festive green. The wheelhouse is expansive, with gadgets by the score, as we explore the cabin and the polished wooden floor. 3 beds and 3 baths are hidden right below the line, where the river folks' memories and their holiday lives entwine. An egotistical gull lands on the mast so high, beneath the dark and the heavy, gray, winter London sky. The houseboat is cozy. It's the bee's knees, you can bet, the most unique and diverse home that we have seen as yet. Lucy turns the wheel with a joyful and a bright grin as the magic of the river starts to finally sink in. The incessant hum of the motor is a joyous, rhythmic sound as we travel in a home that isn't pinned to the ground. Our IHJ 220 Mercedes is a mobile, silver palace, free from any bitterness or any hint of malice. It's the antithesis of a house built of heavy brick and stone, a wandering sanctuary that we can call our own. It's automatic and official. It's a piece of cake to drive, making us feel so energetic and remarkably alive. We travel through the counties, through the east and through the south, with the taste of festive biscuits in our happy, hungry mouth. Angela finds a shelf where she can have a quiet nap, while I keep the travel itinerary in my steady blue lap. No intervention is needed for the space inside the van, for everything is curated with a meticulous, clever plan. The sofa benches are wide. They're as soft as a cloud of silk, as we enjoy our festive cocoa and our warm and creamy milk. The precarious balance of living on the open winter road is offset by the joy of our mobile and holiday abode. Lucy helps me set the table, she's as busy as a bee, as we look out at the forest and a snow-covered oak tree. The motorhome is compact, it's efficient, and it's bright. A wonderful place to spend a cold and a December night. We are not fish out of water. We are happy as can be in our wandering home that is as vast as the winter sea. A loquacious starling follows as we travel to the west, for our tour of Cornish dwellings is the final, ultimate test. Oblivious to the distance, we follow the rhythmic, rolling hum. As to the beauty of the countryside, we eventually succumb. The leaves are a carpet of crimson and of gold. As the secrets of the West Country start to slowly unfold, we talk of all the houses and the penthouses we've seen and all the wonderful and festive and the snowy places we've been. Charlie tells a story of the nights of ancient times, as the Cornish church towers start their holiday in winter chimes. We would not start from scratch or revert to our old ways, for we love these adventurous and holiday-filled days. Anarchy and pandemonium break out on the Cornish sand as we reach the very edge of the rugged winterland. At Trevithick Court in Hayley, the chalets are neat and white, reflecting the ocean's shimmering and the silvery cold light. Number 40 is open plan. It's spacious and it's grand, the finest holiday home in all of the Cornish land. These timber-clad retreats are for memories and for rest. Of all the coastal houses, they are surely and truly the best. We find a wooden patio where we can safely stand and look at the snowy dunes and the vast and the golden sand. Angela sniffs the air. It's a scent of salt and pine as the winter stars begin to eventually and softly shine. A superficial glance is never enough for us to see the beauty of the chalet by the wild and the winter sea. We find the triple bedroom with the bunks for Lucy and for me, tucked behind a wall of the finest and the sturdiest pine tree. Lucy claims the top bunk with a leap and a joyful bound, while I prefer to stay much closer to the steady ground. There is no indifference to the wonders we behold, as the stories of the Cornish coast are frequently retold. We listen to the waves as they crash and they roll and roar, and wish that we could stay for a week or for many more. Angela curls on the quilt. She's as happy as can be in this cozy little chalet by the vast and the winter sea. Penultimate stop on our holiday flight is Deptford's Tower of Glass and a flickering winter light. Aragon Towers is eccentric. It's a sight that scrapes the sky, where a duplex penthouse is currently and remarkably high. On the 25th floor, the windows are wide and very tall, making us feel remarkably and extraordinarily small. Floor-to-ceiling glass offers a view that is second to none, of the City of London and the setting of the winter sun. The concierge is elite, he's official, and he's kind, as we leave the busy streets and the city noise far behind. The diversity of Deptford is a prize that we adore, as we explore the penthouse and its upper and its lower floor. To my chagrin, the journey must eventually and surely end as we head back to Windsor around the final snowy bend. We've seen the terraces, the bungalows and the boats, and worn our warmest and our thickest of winter coats. From London to Cornwall, the tour was a blast, a memory that is certain forever and ever to last. Charlie and Lucy, with Angela the Tuxedo Cat too, have shown the diverse accommodations of the country to you. We sit by our fire as the Christmas bells ring and listen to the carols that our happy neighbors sing. Our detached home is the best, though the others were grand, the finest and the coziest dwelling in all of the land.